Yo, folks, welcome to my office. It's the final live coding session in the wonderful year of 2020. And as Ross Burton just put it on IRC, I'm so excited. I'm not gonna sing for you. Lottie can do that way better. Those of you who know the discussion will realize what's going on. Okay, so this is the final session for this year. This is the final session before Christmas, which means I'll have one very special surprise for you. I won't be drinking beer today. I've just had a small chat, and this is literally, I think, the 20th installment with all the side kick sessions of the live coding series, and I've had a beer in every single one of those. And today, I'm gonna have a glue wine because it's Christmas, and because we'll be doing something that is not only exciting but also kind of crazy and complicated. I'll start drinking right away instead of after the first couple of minutes. So now that we're all set, welcome on board. Most of you know that we'll be talking about multiconfigs today. And let me find you some terminal. Is it here? Here's a terminal and you can see me. Okay, multi-config means that you have essentially one build setup, but you can build multiple different things. That sounds like, at the first time? Oh, I forgot to drink, sorry. That sounds like, okay, why should I even want to do this? I mean, I can set up 2 builds and then I'll be super safe and have everything separated. What's the fun point in it? Let's put it with Exhibit. Yo, dog, we heard you like builds, so we put the build in your build. And that's what we're gonna do. This is, for me, this is the prime reason why anybody would want a multi-config. You can build something and take it right into the next build. And I think you could even chain this and like put a build in your build, but we're not gonna do this today. Maybe next year when I'm even more drunk. Okay, so what do we need for this? As we can't like explain everything probably in the session, I have somewhat prepared a layer that I'm just gonna walk you through what it does and why it does this, and we're gonna look at how it works, and then we'll be all running off for Christmas. That's the plan for today. Okay, what do we have or what do we need? We do have Pocky, of course. Let's go into Pocky. Get status. I think it's latest case guard. We can pull and break something. Hi Marco. Hi Philip. Okay, this is nothing crazy. Then we have meta molybdenum. I called the layer for today molybdenum because molybdenum sounds a little bit like multi-config. It starts with an M too. Okay, so, and we're gonna set up a build. Pretty classic, where we add meta molybdenum, bake layers, put bake layers, yeah, add layer meta molybdenum. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have set this up, we need MC, and of course it's not there. Set up, get updated, and install MC. I think it's not that bad. I broke the first thing after 4 minutes. That's okay. So how is everybody of you like preparing for this Christmas? Everybody's still swamped in release panic works. or already off into the like vacation. Tell me what you think. So MC. Inside MetaMolybdenium, we have a couple of things. First, we have a multi-config layer, a conf multi-config directory, and inside multi-config directory, there are the things that you can add on top of local.conf. If you're talking about local.conf, if you're talking about multi-configs, then it works like this. Local.conf is your base, and it's essentially like the first multi-config. For me, that means whatever you want to have as your final result, as your final artifact, that should be done in the no multi-config configuration. So in local.conf. That's my take on things. So if I want a build in a build, then the outer build is what I should have in local.conf. And so therefore the multi-config molybdenium outer is not exactly important. It's more like a note for me to tell myself what I wanted there. I wanted there to set machine QMORM to machine to QMORM as 64, and I wanted to set temp here. Okay. And so the place where multi-config really kicks in then is the things that go in the build. So molybdenium inner. And to show off that this is really something separate, we're going to build for two separate arches. We're going to build for QMORM 64 outside and classic QMORM on the inside. Okay, this is what we have as the multi-configs. Just let me point this out again. The outer one is just a note to myself. It's gonna be removed really soon. And so let's do this first. Vim is probably also not there, as always, and it's even. No, not sim. We want win. Build conf local.conf. Okay. Did I mess up the fonts again? Probably. Okay. Like we said, the outer one is the local.conf configuration. So QMORM 64. Where to place downloads. I prepared this, otherwise we have to like stream and drink until tomorrow. Local downloads and local estate cache. And so things don't conflict because tempter is identical otherwise. TMP outer. Okay, and now I want IPK. I always want IPK. And now I'm pretty sure that I mess up something. pp multiconfig or not. Let me find the configs. You know, I kind of like tried this yesterday and I instantly forgot it again. Bitbake user manual, probably Google links me to something super ancient, multiconfig. bb multiconfig without s. Okay. Molybdenum outer. Now inner. Inner is what we want. Okay. So as we have set this up right now, we should be basically be able to build for the outer setup the big core image minimal, and hopefully my state doesn't break just as it did yesterday, because then I'll have a problem. Pausing looks good already, and we're going to see hopefully that there is more than one bitbake configuration involved now. More than one. Multi means, you know, like multi-config. It doesn't look bad. Okay, we have a build configuration, mcconfig inner and outer. Okay, and cache seems to be hot too. That's a good sign. Let's look. Oh, okay, no, this is completely unusable. Time to drink. One more thing. As I'm in Europe and we do have Christmas here, which means that I'll be off for the next like 2 or 3 weeks from the interwebs. This does not mean that I do not honor other religions and traditions and whatever. So whenever I say Christmas, from now on, just insert like whatever thing that makes you happy in the next 3 weeks, okay? More drinking. More drinking is usually more good. And I just saw that Tim posted something on Kubernetes again. You know that I'm still voting for the drinking game, yeah? You know, so whenever somebody mentions Kubernetes or Tekton in the context of Yocto, then everybody has to do a shot. Okay, so now we do have the outer image build, and where the magic happens now is that we can build things for the inner configurations, and that goes like this. We don't give the raw target, we give MC prefix for multiconfig, and then we name the specific image, the specific multiconfig part that we want, and then the target. And hopefully we do run off right now and build the other image. Looks good. I think we're fast enough so we can try and give it a QEMU boot even. Maybe, hopefully. You know, once this is like booted all the way through, built all the way through, I think we're gonna give it a try and boot it. And yes, Robert, I refilled. Maitredeath said Kubernetes means take 8 drinks. I'm not sure. I think we should like ask Kelsey Hayter what he means, considering combining Kubernetes with drinking. Run QEMU, no graphic slurp. Let's see what happens. I have no idea if that makes sense in a multi-config situation. Usually, I think it should like be, take the last build, but it seems to go for the outer build, which also makes sense. Makes it easier for us. So the usual like booting and waiting. Okay, it's the outer. Roto. I cannot log in as Roto. Okay, but if everything should work out, then I expect the inner build to show up here. That's the target, okay? Or the aim. Target is like things you shoot at, and aim is things you achieve. Okay, power off. So, what does one need in order to put things into an image? You have to create your custom image. So, let's look at MetaMolybdenum again. And you can see that in recipes molybdenum, I already created an image called molybdenum outer, which is pretty simple. It's essentially just like core image minimal, and it does an image install append molybdenum payload. Whereas molybdenum payload is probably somehow that inner build, right? Okay, so let's look at the inner build. The inner build is just your run-of-the-mill core image minimal. No magic here. I just put everything into the layer so you have it in one place when you look it up on GitHub later, which I kind of hope you do because that means you are interested, and I kind of hope you do not do because you see all the stupid things that I'm doing. Okay, and so the final puzzle piece, hopefully, is how does the molybdenum image inner go into the molybdenum payload? So here is the magic, kind of. This nails a recipe down to only one package. It removes the default dependencies because, you know, we just want to package up one binary blob essentially. And then this is where the magic happens. There is no way, at least so far, to pass information from one multi-config to another. So we have to kind of like deposit the information or the knowledge how to pull things from one place to the other somewhere. You can either do that in your distro or in your image. No, not in an image, or in your local.conf or in your environment. And in my case, I decided to put it into the payload recipe. The payload recipe is the one place that does glue everything together. So, okay, container package. Container is my audio input switched. That's it. The levels seem to be okay. Is my audio okay at the moment? Maybe my beard gave the microphone some scratches. That happens now and then, which is kind of like crazy. But there has been no obvious warning or notice here. You can hear me, but with some echo. There is certainly no echo involved here. Crazy. I'm silent. Now I'm back again. So, is it now better? It's really crazy. What's going on here? Audio. No, I really can't see anything that's going on here. Sorry. I can't tap here, but all other mics are essentially like all other mics are really muted. I have no idea. Maybe like this. You have like the super beard feeling then again. Short words. Shall we go on or shall we try and debug this? I give you like 2 sips of blue wine. I have one keep going and one better. Second sip. No other words. And I have one keep going, so I will do that. Okay. The container underscore here is really like just showing off that I ripped it off somewhere, basically by from Ross Burton. Because the classic use case for the classic use case for this is that you create a container image and put it onto your target, which is like one level up from what we're going on, from what we're doing here right now. We're just like doing the exhibit thing. And so in order for BitBake to understand, it needs to build the inner build before the outer build. We have to create a dependency. And this is the magic line for BitBake. We say, do install of our payload recipe multiconfig depends on. Here comes the multiconfig keyword. Here, in between those 2 colons, we could say multiconfig outer, or it's implicit because the payload recipe only gets installed in the outer payload. And it depends on the inner payload, package or recipe? I don't know. One of those. I think the recipe. It must be the recipe. Yeah. The recipe and the task of the recipe that we want to like be done. So this is the BitBake part, and this is the packaging part. This is the knowledge where the inner image goes to in the build, and this line is the magic part where the inner build goes to in the outer build. You can see, install from that directory, it takes that name and puts it here. Okay, one thing I should note. I have one trick here that I set an image link name in the inner image. That means I can always find it under a specific file name. That image link name only gets extended by the file suffix, And I could also nail that file suffix down by the molybdenum inner multiconfig by setting image fs types here. And I know it's like it's all hacked up yesterday afternoon, but you get the idea. There's always places where you can polish things in the distro, in the configs, and basically everywhere. So, but in a nutshell, we have one image that is called molybdenum image outer that installs a package that is provided, a package called molybdenum payload, which multiconfig depends on molybdenum image inner, and that's it. Okay? I think that makes sense somehow. So therefore, let's try and build this. Bitbake. I think we should play the payload. We should build the payload first, just for the fun of it. When you read MC, you think Midnight Commander. Yeah, basically it is Midnight Commander. I'm using Midnight Commander all the time. Unless I am like talking to you, then I am the MC. You know, we are all on a celebration here. It's Christmas coming up, and so I am your master of celebrations. So Bitbake, molybdenum, when will I ever learn to not make such crazy names? So molybdenum payload. Hopefully, we can like demonstrate the dependency resolving mechanism here, but everything is super fast. You see, you could see image inners, do rootfs is being done. Actually, just for the fun of it, my managing director was just having a peek in. She says, let's have a lot of fun. We are doing that. Okay, image inner is being built. Do image is completed, hopefully, tar whatever, image complete. You saw the task. And that's it. Shall we look at the work directory? I think we can do that. We have a little time. Midnight Commander, temp. You see the separate directories. Temp inner, deploy, IPK, and if I'm not super mistaken, there might be a molybdenum payload. Okay, that was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. Nope. Let's not do that. Temp inner. Work. Armv whatever something. No, that doesn't make sense. Did it? No, it doesn't make sense. We need to look at molybdenum outer. Temp outer is where we are building. Work. Does it go into all? No, it does not go into all. QEMU-ARM? No, it goes into Cortex. Here it is. And I'm talking shit. Literally, I have no idea where it went to. So let's just try and find out if it works, even if I don't know where it goes to. Molybdenum image outer. Do I really have 22 people watching me right now? Admitting in front of all the world that I have no idea where things are going to. That's like awesome. I should do like something. Make embedded Linux great again. Can you vote for this? I have alternative facts, you know? Okay, it does build. And it hopefully finishes sometime. And as we're only half an hour in and we have some time left, I would say like, people, make up your minds what you want to talk about. I do have some time left then, obviously. And as usual, I take all kinds of questions, remarks, insults, praises, wedding plans, whatever hits your mind. I just don't promise to respond to everything because, believe it or not, I probably just don't know it. I might refer you to some other more knowledgeable people, which happen to know that are also around and listening to what I do, and probably like falling off their chairs laughing, but that doesn't mind. Okay, run QEMU, no graphic, slurp. If nobody has a better idea, there was an on-topic question above. How many drinks you need for Kubernetes? Let me scroll. Okay, I did not realize that question, sorry. But you owe me to explain what squirtles are, okay? So, do you think that multi-config is useful for builds that are having the same arch but have a different set of packages, such as the current? It depends on what you want to achieve. So, this is Yocto chant number 3. Here's the camera. 3. And the chant goes like, it depends. Because a different set of, or another kernel usually means that you are building for another machine. And unless you have a cross dependency in some form, I do not see any benefit in going multi-config over 2 separate builds. Other than you can kick off 2 builds in one go if you're like doing it manually. Because if you have 2 separate build directories, to gain the same build speed gains as to get the same build speed as with multi-config, you have to share state, and you cannot have two active builders on the same state at one time. You have to build sequentially. So that means you would like have to build one after the other. You get easier debugging. I would say you have a more like self-contained build. In my personal opinion, you are free to think different. In my personal opinion, a multi-config only shines if one of the builds depends on the other in some form. That might be an image or a root file system, as it is in most cases, but it might also be a firmware blob, or you have to create specific SDK that you need to use inside the other build then, or something like that. This is where it really shines. For creating 2 separate outputs that just share some bits and pieces, I would say like, then think about how the sharing happens inside a layer and have 2 separate builds. My personal opinion, that does not give you anything that you would want to have. But of course, your use case can be different. It all depends. So from a very superficial view, I would not go multi-config if I just want to have two variations of the same build. Okay, and we're logged in. We're going here, and here is molybdenum inner image payload. So, yo dog, we heard you like builds. We put a build in your build. And if nobody has a no, my time will be running out for that. I wanted to say like, let's go super crazy and put the build in the build in the build, but that would only be cool if we did it for another machine or another arch, and my time is not enough to get through the whole build for that. So what could one do with a multi-config? You have sometimes like asymmetric multiprocessing CPUs, where you have a Cortex A something to run Linux and a Cortex M something for some real-time or whatever thing. And this is where a multi-config usually makes sense. Not only to have the obvious solution of putting the M4 firmware blob into the root file system to load it there. It could totally be the other way around. You could like build a Linux file system first and put it as a firmware blob somewhere into Flash that you could start off with from the M4. It really depends on the control flow inside the system. And so you have to get your head around the fact that systems these days can be really complex, and especially when you come to FPGAs or things from that area, you sometimes need like whatever build inside a build that is pre-processed, and this is where the recipes can come in again. You can do pre-processing on other things here, and yeah, it's kind of like go crazy here. And yes, major death. Hopefully that is close in pronunciation. It's a depend situation. It really depends on your use case and your system. Any other thing we could do now? Let's do one of my classics. Okay. Does anybody happen to know if the standard BusyBox can tar and unzip? Please do tell me. Because we're gonna do something right now. We're gonna put we're gonna change something in the inner image and see if BitBake properly rebuilds all the chain to the outer image. At the molybdenum, recipe is molybdenum images, molybdenum image inner. And image install append equals BC. It's always BC, you know? So if and only if the dependency chains work correctly, then BC should now be built for molybdenum inner, go into the image, go into molybdenum payload, and then go into the outer image. And if the BusyBox can untar and unzip, we can look into the tarball then and verify that, okay? Robert says that BusyBox can tar, okay. That sounds promising. Molybdenum inner. Could that be already at molybdenum inner rootfs? Was BC built already? Maybe it was in S stage from yesterday's session. For all those who didn't realize we had a session yesterday, we were talking super hard Austrian and Bavarian, just because we can do this, and it was awesome. And I think I explained even less than usual, and like broke even more. In case you didn't realize, I like breaking things. Oida, yes, that's it, Oida. Okay, here's the do root file system. We had a discussion on a kind of meatloaf recipe yesterday. Do it yourself, lieber Kaz. And I'm still not convinced that it is a really good idea. I've already done my Christmas shopping. I'll be cooking. Okay, now I'm really like curious what's gonna happen if that works out. This is just like randomly made up right now. I've never ever tried this before. I really wonder why it's taking so long. When I tried it, I felt like it was instantly going through. Okay, but anyways, if that works now, we're gonna go to temp just because we can. Tar xvf tar xvf slash molybdenum inner image payload tar bc2. That seems to work. So if I'm looking at temp, I have a complete file system here right now. cd bin, lsb, and there is no bc. Okay, obviously the dependency chain did not work as expected. Now there's two things that can mean. A is there is a bug. B is I kind of like screw it up. My bet is on B, that I kind of like screwed it up. Let's just like let's rebuild the inner image, mc molybdenum inner molybdenum image inner. If it does rebuild now, if it does say BC, no, it doesn't say anything. That's crazy. Or did I just like put it into the wrong recipes, images, molybdenum image, and inner image, install append BC. It should be there. Don't you think so? Bake, clean, no C, clean, MC, molybdenum image inner. Oh no, molybdenum inner. inner molybdenum image inner. Then rebuild it again, and then make up my mind if I should file a bug or just like run off for Christmas. Then something is going on here. I think we have to look at the manifest. If the manifest is okay. I really have no idea why it wouldn't go into that. Shouldn't the tarbc be on the host as well? It should be somewhere, but I have no idea where of it. Sorry. And I just don't feel like hunting it down at the moment. I'm depressed right now because that doesn't work. Okay. T. Let's look at temp inner, deploy, images QM warm. More Glühwein order, yeah. That's the spirit. That sounds good. There is BC. BC should be there. And if we put bake, oops, no, run QEMU. We put bake out right now. I think I even discussed this with Richard already some time back. I should poke him again. If the dependency chains work across now. You see, it didn't rerun any tasks. So if we look at molybdenum outer, DC is probably not there. And if I clean molybdenum payload, then it is probably being repacked, which in case means that dependency tracking across multi-configs is not working correctly in some cases. XVF. Oh, I forgot it again. Some XVF molybdenum inner image payload tar BC. And if you look at bin, or is it in user bin? I think it should be in bin. Let's bin B. It's not there. Let's user bin B. It is there. Okay. So what did we learn? Everything is fine, and I just fucked it up, as usual. I think I should end with this self-reflected statement. And so, cheers, everybody. I hope you're all safe and healthy. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Christmas is coming up. We need you all around in 2021. Here's to all the embedded Linux folks. Hope to see you all in 2021 when we'll be talking about other things. I have no idea yet what that will be. As usual, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch, follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me wherever you think you can find me. And with that, I'm off into the vacation and will be around for you in the mid of January again. So, thanks and bye bye.